The alien women of Nebulon 5 towered over humans with their 7-foot frames and iridescent skin that shimmered like morning dew on a spiderweb. Their forearms could crush steel, yet their touch was gentle enough to catch a falling raindrop without breaking it. The Nebulonians were feared across the galaxy for their strategic brilliance and unmatched strength. No species dared to challenge them. Kate Morgan never intended to be important. She worked as a communications officer on the Starship Horizon, merely translating and decoding messages between human colonies. She was average height with auburn hair and eyes that crinkled when she smiled. Her colleagues described her as reliable but unremarkable. Nothing about Kate suggested she would change the course of interstellar relations. The first encounter between humans and Nebulonians went poorly. The alien delegation interpreted standard human greeting protocols as signs of aggression. Ambassador Zixla of the Nebulonians demanded immediate human withdrawal from 3 star systems, citing ancient territorial claims. Diplomatic channels froze and military forces on both sides prepared for conflict. Kate had joined the Horizon crew just 6 months earlier. Fresh out of the academy, she was still learning the ropes of deep space communications. Her supervisor, Diane Harris, often reminded her that their job was to listen, not interpret. But Kate saw patterns where others saw only noise. The bridge of the Horizon buzzed with tension as the captain received the latest ultimatum from the Nebulan fleet. Admiral Gregory paced the command deck, his face grim. "We have 48 hours before they open fire on our outposts," he announced. "Their terms are unacceptable, but our forces are outmatched." Kate sat at her station monitoring the incoming transmissions from Nebulon 5. For 3 days straight, she had tracked every message, noting subtle changes in tone and syntax. That was when she first noticed something odd. The Nebulonian language seemed to shift depending on their position relative to nearby stars. She pulled up star charts and overlaid them with communication timestamps. The pattern became clearer when certain constellations were visible from Nebulon 5. Their language incorporated different harmonics. Their words literally resonated with the stellar positions. That night, while the senior officers slept, Kate reviewed historical recordings of Nebulon communications. She created a makeshift algorithm to predict language shifts based on stellar positions. By morning, she had compiled enough evidence to support her theory. "Excuse me," Admiral Kate said, approaching the command table during the morning briefing. Her heart pounded, but she continued. "I think I found something important in the Nebulon communications." The Admiral glanced at her with tired eyes. "Officer Morgan, this is not the time, sir. The Nebulonians worship the stars." Kate blurted. "Their language changes with the constellations. I think our standard greeting violated some kind of religious protocol." The communications room fell silent. Captain Reyes stepped forward. "What exactly are you suggesting?" "Morgan, I'm suggesting we try again," Kate said, "but this time we incorporate references to the stars currently visible from their homeworld." The senior officers exchanged skeptical looks, but desperation breeds opportunity. Kate was given permission to draft a new message. She worked feverishly, incorporating stellar references and position markers. The message was simple but crafted to acknowledge what she believed was the spiritual importance of the stars to Nebulan culture, against protocol. Kate transmitted her message directly to Ambassador Zixla. The bridge erupted in chaos. "Officer Morgan, you are relieved of duty," the Admiral shouted. "You may have just triggered an immediate attack." Kate stood her ground. "Sir, please just wait for their response." 20 tense minutes passed. The communications array remained silent. The Admiral was about to order Kate's removal when the system chimed with an incoming transmission. The main screen flickered to life, showing the imposing figure of Ambassador Zixla. Her iridescent skin shifted through shades of blue and purple as she regarded them with 4 golden eyes. "I wish to speak with the one called Kate Morgan," the ambassador said, her voice resonating through the bridge. "The one who hears the song of stars." The Admiral turned to Kate, his expression a mixture of confusion and cautious hope. "Perhaps you should sit down." Officer Morgan. Kate stepped forward, her hands trembling slightly. "I am Kate Morgan," she said. Ambassador Zixla leaned closer to the screen, her 4 arms moving in a complex pattern. We have received your transmission. It is the first communication from your kind that does not offend the cosmic harmony. You will meet with me to discuss terms. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in stunned silence. Admiral Gregory turned to Kate. I don't know what you did, Morgan, but you just bought us time. Prepare for a diplomatic mission. You leave in 2 hours. Diane squeezed Kate's shoulder as she gathered her equipment. For someone who was supposed to just listen, you sure made yourself heard. Kate spent the journey to the neutral meeting point studying everything available about Nebulan culture, which wasn't much. Humans had only encountered them 3 months ago, and most interactions had been hostile. What little they knew suggested a matriarchal society with complex social hierarchies and advanced technology far beyond human capabilities. The neutral station orbiting an uninhabited planet was designed for interspecies meetings. The gravity and atmosphere could be adjusted for different physiologies. Kate waited, in the conference room, her heart racing as the doors slid open, revealing Ambassador Zixla and her entourage. The Nebulonian women entered with fluid grace, their footsteps silent despite their size. Their skin rippled with colors that seemed to communicate emotions without words. Kate stood trying to appear confident despite feeling impossibly small next to these magnificent beings. What are you called, small one? Asked Zixla, her voice like distant thunder. Kate Morgan, communications specialist, 3rd class. Kate responded, her voice steady despite her racing heart. You speak to the stars, Kate Morgan, the ambassador said. We believed humans deaf to their song. How did you learn to hear? Kate swallowed hard. I noticed your language changes with stellar positions, the words shift with the constellations. The 4-armed alien made a sound like wind chimes, a laugh perhaps. In 10,000 cycles, no off-worlder has noticed this. You are. The first Kate struggled to maintain her composure as the towering alien women surrounded her. Their golden eyes studied her with curious intensity. She felt like a specimen under examination. I was just doing my job. Kate said, I like finding patterns, Ambassador. Zixla gestured with her upper right arm, and her entourage stepped back, giving Kate some breathing room. The small observation room they occupied offered a stunning view of the nearby star system. 3 suns orbited each other in a complex dance, casting multiple shadows across the floor. Most species hear only the surface of our words. The ambassador said, her skin shifting to a deep violet. The true meaning rides beneath like ocean currents. You somehow sensed these currents. Kate nodded. It reminded me of music. How notes change the entire feeling of a song. Zixla tilted her head. The stars sing to us. Their positions determine the harmonies of our speech. Our sacred texts teach that when the cosmos was young, the first Nebulan female heard the stellar songs and taught our people to speak their language. We have maintained this tradition for millennia. So when we sent standard greetings, Kate began to understand we were speaking out of harmony with the stars. Worse, the ambassador said. You were speaking anti-harmony, actively dissonant to the current stellar positions. It was as if you deliberately mocked our most sacred beliefs. Kate felt a chill run down her spine. No wonder the Nebulonians had responded with hostility. The humans had unknowingly committed blasphemy. I am sorry, Kate said. We meant no disrespect. Zixla made a dismissive gesture with her lower left arm. Ignorance is not malice, but intent does not erase impact. Your people have much to learn if peace is to be possible. Can you teach me? Kate asked, looking directly into the ambassador's golden eyes. If I understand better, perhaps I can help others understand too. The Nebulonian women exchanged glances, their skin rippling with rapid color changes that seemed to constitute a private conversation. Finally, Zixla turned back to Kate. It is unprecedented to share our sacred language with outsiders, but these are unprecedented times. You have shown the capacity to hear. Perhaps you can learn to speak as well. For the next 5 days, Kate spent every waking hour with Zixla and her cultural attaché, Mixna. They taught her the basics of stellar linguistics, how consonants shifted with the rising of certain stars, how vowels elongated during cosmic alignments. Kate recorded everything, creating a rudimentary translation matrix that could adapt human communication to Nebulonian stellar patterns. Admiral Gregory contacted her on the 6th day. Growing impatient, Morgan, he said. The fleet is still on standby and the brass wants answers. What progress have you made? Kate explained her findings and the communication system she was developing. I need more time, sir. Just a few more days. You have 48 hours, the Admiral said. Then we need something. Concrete or command will consider other options. Kate knew what other options meant. Military intervention. She doubled her efforts working through the night with Mixna, who seemed fascinated by human persistence. Your kind sleeps so little, Mixna. Observed as Kate gulped down her 6th cup of coffee, Kate smiled grimly. When necessary, we can push through. We call it burning the midnight oil. The Nebulonian tilted her head, her skin shifting to a curious blue. Your idioms are strange, but I understand. The meaning you sacrifice personal comfort for greater purpose. This is admirable. Mixna was younger than the ambassador with only 300 cycles compared to Zixla's 800. She seemed more open to human ways, less rigid in her interpretations. Kate found her easier to talk to. Do all Nebulonians have 4 arms? Kate asked during a short break. Mixna rippled her skin and what Kate had learned was amusement. Yes, just as all humans have only 2. It seems so limiting. How do you manage? Kate laughed. We manage fine, I guess we just don't know what we're missing. Having never had 4 arms, we don't miss them. This exchange led to others. Kate learned about Nebulan childhood, how young girls were taught to hear the stellar frequencies from birth, how males raised the children while females served in leadership and military roles, how their society valued harmony above individual achievement. In turn, Kate shared human customs, music, art, and history. Mixina was particularly fascinated by human music. Has no connection to stellar positions, yet it creates emotional resonance, Mixina said after listening to a classical piece. How is this possible? Kate shrugged. Music is just math with feeling. The composers might not have known about stellar frequencies, but they understood harmony. On the 7th day, Kate presented her translation matrix to Ambassador Zixla. This program will adjust our communications to align with the current stellar positions visible from Nebulon 5, she explained. It won't be perfect, but it should prevent accidental disharmony. Zixla studied the program, her 4 hands moving across the holographic display with surprising dexterity, crude but functional. She finally said, It shows promise. Kate felt a surge of relief. Will you consider reopening diplomatic channels? The ambassador was quiet for a long moment, her skin shifting through subtle shades of blue and green. We will speak with your leaders using this system, she finally said. But you must be present to ensure proper translation. The first official meeting between human and Nebulonian leadership took place the following day. Kate sat beside Ambassador Zixla, nervously monitoring the translation matrix, as Admiral Gregory and the diplomatic team entered. Come in harmony with the stellar chorus that currently graces your skies. The Admiral's words were transformed by Kate's program. The stars of Nebulon 5 shine brightly on our meeting. The Nebulonian delegation visibly relaxed, their skin shifting to pleased purples and blues. The Admiral shot Kate an impressed glance as the meeting proceeded smoothly for the first time. Through careful translation and Kate's constant adjustments to the matrix, the 2 species began the delicate process of negotiation. Territorial disputes were addressed, cultural misunderstandings clarified. Kate worked tirelessly, ensuring no accidental disharmony disrupted the fragile peace process. After 3 days of talks, Ambassador Zixla requested a private word. With Kate, you have done well, Star Speaker, she said, using a Nebulonian title that Kate's translator rendered imperfectly. Few of your kind would have shown such dedication to understanding our ways. Thank you, Kate said. But I'm just getting started. There is so much more to learn. Zixla studied her with those golden eyes. Your leaders wish you to return to your ship. They believe your work is complete now that basic communication is established. Kate felt a pang of disappointment. But the translation matrix still needs refinement. The stellar alignments change daily precisely, the ambassador said, which is why I have requested that you remain as our cultural liaison. Should your leaders agree, Kate's heart leaped at the opportunity to continue learning the complex language of the stars. To be the bridge between two powerful species, the responsibility was enormous, but so was the potential. I would be honored. Kate said, "If my superiors approve." Zixala made the wind chime sound again. "They will agree. The stars have already aligned in your favor, Kate Morgan, and the stars are never wrong." Admiral Gregory did approve, though not without reservation. Kate Morgan was officially assigned as cultural liaison to the Nebulonian embassy. She moved into quarters on the neutral station designed to accommodate both species, gravity set slightly, higher than Earth standard but lower than Nebulon. 5 air, slightly thinner but enriched with trace elements. Her days fell into a rhythm. Morning sessions with Maxina, learning the subtle variations of stellar linguistics. Afternoon meetings with human diplomats helping them understand Nebulonian customs. Evening conversations with Zixala discussing everything from philosophy to galactic politics. 3 months into her assignment, Kate experienced her first stellar ceremony. The Nebulonians, gathered in a vast chamber with a transparent ceiling, offering an unobstructed view of the cosmos. Ambassador Zixala had invited Kate as an observer, a rare honor for an off-worlder. The alien women arranged themselves in concentric circles, their iridescent skin dimmed to a soft glow. As the stars of a particular constellation became visible overhead, they began to sing. Their voices rose and fell in perfect harmony with each other, and with some cosmic frequency, Kate could sense but not quite hear. Maxina stood beside Kate, her voice joining the chorus. "This is the alignment of Zirian," she whispered between notes. "It happens once every 17 cycles. The stars align perfectly with our ancestral homeworld." The music swelled as more stars appeared. Kate felt it resonating in her chest, vibrating through her bones. Although she couldn't fully perceive the stellar frequencies that inspired the song, she was moved to tears by its beauty. After the ceremony, Zixala approached Kate. "You weep," she observed. "It's so beautiful." Kate said, wiping her eyes, "I can feel it, even if I can't fully hear it." The ambassador studied her thoughtfully. "Perhaps in time you will hear more clearly. The fact that you sense anything at all is remarkable." As months passed, Kate developed a deeper understanding of Nebulonian culture. She learned that their 4 arms served specific purposes, the upper pair for precision work, the lower for strength. Their skin communication, called chroma flow, was as complex as their spoken language, conveying emotional nuances through rippling patterns of color. In turn, Kate taught selected Nebulonians about human culture. She introduced them to Earth music, literature, and art, focusing on works that celebrated cosmic themes. They were particularly moved by Van Gogh's Starry Night, finding in its swirling patterns echoes of their own stellar worship. Not all humans supported the growing relationship with the Nebulonians. A faction led by Commodore Ellis argued that sharing cultural knowledge gave away strategic advantages. Kate received messages questioning her loyalty. Suggesting she had gone native, Admiral Gregory defended her position. "You aren't there to be human, Morgan," he told her during a private communication. "You are there to be the bridge. Keep your focus on the big picture. Peace between our species is worth temporary discomfort." Kate found an unexpected ally in Maxina. The young Nebulonian had become something of a friend, if such a term could apply. Across species, they spent off-duty hours exchanging stories about their childhoods. Maxina was fascinated by Kate's descriptions of growing up on a small farm in Minnesota. "You lived surrounded by growing things." Maxina marveled, her skin shifting to envious green. "On Nebulon 5, we live in crystalline cities. Plants are precious rarities." Kate, in turn, was captivated by Maxina's descriptions of Nebulonian childhood, how young girls were taken to special observatories to learn to hear the stellar songs, how they received their adult names upon first successfully matching their voice to a star frequency. 6 months into her assignment, Kate witnessed a diplomatic breakthrough. The Nebulonians agreed to share medical technology that could extend human lifespan by decades. In exchange, humans offered FTL drive innovations that would allow Nebulonian ships to travel more efficiently between systems. The exchange ceremony nearly ended in disaster when a human diplomat mispronounced a key stellar reference. Kate caught the error just in time. Adjusting the translation matrix to compensate, the Nebulonian delegation rippled with momentary displeasure. But Zixala acknowledged Kate's quick thinking with a subtle color change that only Kate noticed. That Evening Ambassador Zixla summoned Kate to her private chambers, a space filled with crystalline structures that hummed faintly in harmony with distant stars. You prevented an incident today, the ambassador said without preamble. The diplomat would have invoked the Dark Star had you not intervened. Kate had learned enough to understand the severity. Such a reference during a peace ceremony would have been catastrophic. What happens now, she asked. Zixla gestured with all four arms, a sign of formal respect. You have proven yourself, Kate Morgan. You no longer merely speak to the stars. You begin to speak for them. This changes your status among my people. The ambassador produced a small crystal that pulsed with inner light. This is a stellar resonator. It is given only to those who can hear the cosmic harmonies. It will help you attune your senses to frequencies, normally beyond human perception. Kate stared at the gift. Its implications were enormous. No human had ever been given access to such technology. Will your council approve? They already have, Zixla said. The decision was unanimous. You are to be named Star Whisperer, the first human to hold a Nebulonian title. The ceremony will take place during the next stellar alignment. The news spread quickly through both human and Nebulonian communities. Reactions were mixed. Some humans saw it as a diplomatic coup, others as proof that Kate had been compromised. The Nebulonian public was largely supportive, though traditionalists questioned. Giving such an honor to an off-worlder, Kate found the stellar resonator transformative. When she held it during Nebulonian speech, she could actually perceive the subtle harmonics that had previously been just beyond her grasp. The language took on new dimensions, layers of meaning that had been invisible before. Her enhanced understanding led to improvements in the translation matrix, making it sensitive to nuances previously lost. The diplomatic process accelerated as communication barriers fell one evening. As Kate worked late in her office, she received an urgent message from Earth High Command. A faction of human separatists had attacked a Nebulonian outpost, claiming it was a preemptive strike against alien dominance. 3 Nebulonian females had been killed. Kate's heart sank. The fragile peace they had built could shatter in an instant. She rushed to find Ambassador Zixla, dreading the confrontation. The ambassador's chambers were dark, save for the glow of stellar maps. When Kate entered, Zixla did not turn around. You have heard, she said, her voice flat. Yes, Kate replied. We don't know who they are, but Earth Command is hunting them now. This doesn't represent humanity. Zixla turned her skin dark with grief and anger. They attacked an educational facility. The dead were teachers, not warriors. Kate Morgan. One was barely 50 cycles a child by our standards. Kate felt sick. These attackers must have targeted a soft objective to ensure casualties. This is terrorism, not war. The ambassador moved closer, her towering form silhouetted against the star map. Will there be more attacks? How can we trust your kind now? Kate clutched the stellar resonator, drawing strength from its gentle pulse. We built this piece together, she said. I can't promise. There won't be more humans who fear difference, but I can promise we will stand with you against them. The majority want peace. Zixla was silent for a long moment, her skin cycling through colors too quickly for Kate to interpret. Finally she spoke. The council is divided. Some call for immediate military response, others urge caution. I find myself between these positions. What can I do? Kate asked. Speak to us, the ambassador said. Not just to me, to the full council. Tell them why we should continue on the path of peace. Tell them why some humans act from fear. Show them that humanity is worth the risk. Kate had never addressed the Nebulonian High Council. Their chamber was built like an observatory with a ceiling that opened to the stars. The 12 council members sat in a circle, their skin toned to formal blue. Kate stood in the center, feeling impossibly small. Ambassador Zixla introduced her. This is Kate Morgan, the human who hears the stars. She will speak on behalf of her species. Kate held the stellar resonator tightly, drawing courage from its warm pulse. She had prepared remarks, but as she looked up at the stars visible through the open ceiling, she set them aside. Instead, she would speak from her heart. Trusting the resonator to help her find the right harmonics, honored counsel, she began. I come before you in a time of grief. The loss of your teachers is a wound that cannot be healed with words. I do not ask for forgiveness, but for understanding. She paused, feeling the resonator adjust her vocal patterns to align with the current stellar positions. The council members shifted their posture, subtly recognizing the effort. Humans are a young species, she continued. We have only recently left our homeworld. Some of us fear what we do not understand. This fear sometimes turns to hatred and violence. But this is not the whole of who we are. Kate gestured to the stars overhead. These same stars that sing to you have inspired human poets and scientists for thousands of years. Though we could not hear their music, we still look to them for guidance. She told them about human astronomers who spent lifetimes cataloging stars, about navigators who used them to cross vast oceans, about ordinary people who made wishes on shooting stars, believing them to be magical. The stellar resonator hummed in her hand as she spoke, helping her match the subtle harmonics that gave her words deeper meaning in the Nebulonian language. She could feel the council responding, their skin shifting through thoughtful patterns. 3 humans destroyed 3 precious lives, she acknowledged. This is a tragedy beyond measure. But millions of humans work for peace, doctors who heal, engineers who build, teachers who inspire. They too represent humanity. Will you judge us all by our worst examples, or will you see us as we truly are? A complex species struggling to grow beyond our limitations. The eldest council member, Vixta, leaned forward, her ancient skin pale with age. Why should we risk more Nebulonian lives? She asked. What guarantee can you offer that such attacks will not continue? Kate met her gaze. I can offer no guarantee. Violence exists in both our species. But I can promise you this. If you respond with military force, you will create the very future the attackers want. A galaxy divided by fear. A cycle of retaliation that may last generations. Is that the legacy you choose? Another council member spoke, her voice sharp. You speak well for a human, but words are easily crafted. Actions reveal truth. What action do you propose? Kate had anticipated this question. A joint response. She said, let humans and Nebulonians hunt these criminals together. Let us show the galaxy that we stand united against violence. Let the attackers see that their actions strengthened our alliance rather than weakened it. The council chamber fell, silent as the members communicated through chromaflow, their skin rippling with complex patterns Kate could not fully interpret. Ambassador Zixla stood slightly apart, her expression unreadable. Finally, the council leader spoke. We will consider your words, Kate Morgan. You are dismissed. Kate bowed and left the chamber, her future and possibly the future of human-Nebulonian relations hanging in the balance. She waited in her quarters for 6 tense hours before Ambassador Zixla arrived. The council has decided, the ambassador announced, her skin shifting to formal purple. A joint security force will be formed. Humans and Nebulonians working together to apprehend those responsible. Peace will continue. Kate felt weak with relief. Thank you, she whispered. Was your words that swayed them? Zixla said you spoke with the harmony of one who truly understands our ways. The council recognized this. The joint security force was assembled within days. Elite human operators working alongside Nebulonian warriors. Kate helped create communication protocols ensuring seamless coordination between the species. The hunt for the terrorists became a symbol of cooperation rather than a source of division. 2 weeks later, they tracked the separatist group to an abandoned mining facility on a distant moon. The operation to capture them was swift and precise, with no casualties on either side. The terrorists were returned to Earth for trial, while the Nebulonians performed memorial rites for their fallen teachers. In the aftermath of the crisis, something unexpected happened. Nebulonian cultural exchanges with humans increased. The first Nebulonian embassy on Earth opened its doors, welcoming human visitors. Human universities began offering courses in stellar linguistics, while Nebulonian academies invited human scholars to study their sciences. Kate found herself at the center of these developments. Her position evolved from translator to cultural ambassador. She divided her time between Earth and Nebulon, 5 helping both species navigate their growing relationship. 1 year after her first meeting with Ambassador Zixla, Kate was summoned to a private ceremony on Nebulon 5. She had visited the Nebulonian homeworld twice before, but always on official business. This invitation was different, more personal. The ambassador met her at the spaceport. Kate was struck by how familiar Zixla now seemed. The towering 4-armed alien who had once terrified her was now a respected colleague, perhaps even a friend. Today you receive a great honor, Zixla said, leading Kate through crystalline streets that hummed with stellar frequencies. Few off-worlders have ever been granted this privilege. They arrived at an ancient structure built of a material that seemed to shift between solid and light. The Star Sanctuary, Zixla explained, our most sacred place of learning. Here, our young are taught to hear the cosmic song. Here, you will complete your journey to become true. Star Whisperer. Inside, Kate found a vast chamber filled with Nebulonian females of all ages. Their skin glowed with anticipation. At the center stood a crystal formation that pulsed in time with the stars. The ceremony began with traditional songs. Kate had learned to appreciate the complex harmonies that reflected stellar positions. The crystal at the center grew brighter, responding to the voices. Then Mixina stepped forward, carrying an ornate container. Kate, please approach, she said formally. Kate walked to the center of the chamber, conscious of hundreds of golden eyes watching her. Mixina opened the container, revealing a crystal unlike any Kate had seen before. It appeared to contain a captured star, its light shifting through colors Kate had no names for. This is the heart of Zirian, Mixina announced. It forms once every 1,000 cycles when the stellar alignment is perfect. It has chosen you. Kate looked questioningly at Zixla. The ambassador nodded encouragingly. Place your hands upon it, she instructed. All 4 of your hands. Kate almost corrected her, then realized the significance. She was being addressed as if she were Nebulonian. A profound gesture of acceptance. She placed both hands on the crystal. The sensation was immediate and overwhelming. The crystal resonated through her body, connecting her directly to the stars. She could hear them, not just sense them, but truly hear their music. The complex harmonies crashed over her like waves, each one carrying meaning and emotion. When she opened her eyes, the Nebulonians were bowing, their skin pulsing in perfect synchronization. You hear, the ambassador said simply. You truly hear. From that day forward, Kate Morgan was known throughout the galaxy as the Star Whisperer, the human who bridged worlds not through technology or politics, but through understanding, the woman who taught humans to listen, not just to alien words, but to the spaces between them. The diplomat who showed that peace begins with the willingness to hear another's truth. Under her guidance, the alliance between humans and Nebulonians flourished. Scientific collaboration led to breakthroughs in medicine and physics. Cultural exchange enriched both societies. With time, other species joined the alliance, drawn by the example of cooperation between such different beings. Years later, when asked how she accomplished what seasoned diplomats could not, Kate would smile and touch the crystal she always wore around her neck. Sometimes the most important thing is to listen, Kate would say, not just to words but to the song beneath them. To understand someone, you must be willing to hear the world through their ears, or in this case, through their stars. 20 years passed. Kate Morgan remained on Nebulon 5 as human ambassador. Her auburn hair now streaked with silver, her eyes still crinkling when she smiled. She had mastered the stellar language to a degree no other human had achieved. Her translation, matrices, were used throughout human space, ensuring peaceful communication with the Nebulonians. The technology exchange between the species transformed both societies. Human medical advances incorporated Nebulonian cellular regeneration techniques, extending lifespans and curing formerly terminal diseases. Nebulonian starships adopted human FTL innovations, allowing them to expand their exploration of distant galaxies. Kate established an academy on the neutral station, where humans with potential sensitivity to stellar frequencies could learn to hear the cosmic songs. Not everyone had the ability, but those who did became the next generation of star whisperers, bridging the gap between species. Mixna now served as Nebulonian ambassador to Earth. Her experiences with Kate had given her unique insight into human culture. She became as beloved on Earth as Kate was on Nebulon 5. Together, they symbolized the potential of interspecies friendship. On the 20th anniversary of First Contact, Kate stood on a platform in Geneva addressing representatives from 17 species. Some, like the crystalline Vex, had joined the alliance after witnessing the success of human-Nebulonian cooperation. Others, like the gaseous Aerons, had centuries-old conflicts with neighboring species and sought guidance on peaceful resolution. The Star Whisperer Protocol, as it became known, was now a template for diplomatic first contact throughout the galaxy. Its central principle was simple before: attempting to communicate, learn how the other species perceives reality, understand their sensory world before trying to share your own after the ceremony. Admiral Gregory now. General Gregory approached Kate. He had aged considerably, his once dark hair now white, his face lined with the responsibilities of command. "You did good, Morgan," he said, using her surname as he always had despite her galactic fame. Who would have thought a junior communications officer would change the course of interstellar relations? Kate smiled. "It wasn't me, sir. It was just being willing to listen." The general nodded. "Maybe so. But not everyone would have heard what you heard. Not everyone would have had the courage to act on it." That evening, Kate returned to her quarters on Nebulon 5. The crystalline structure had been her home for 2 decades, personalized with both human and Nebulonian touches. Earth plants thriving alongside Nebulonian sound crystals, artwork from both worlds adorning the walls. A space that represented the harmony she had helped create. She touched the heart of Zirian that hung around her neck. Its light had become part of her, guiding her work, maintaining her connection to the stellar frequencies. Through it, she could hear the cosmic songs that most humans could not perceive. A gift that had shaped her life in ways she could never have imagined. A soft chime announced a visitor. Ambassador Zixla entered, her movements slower than they once had been. Age affected Nebulonians too. Though they lived several centuries compared to human decades, the ambassador had been Kate's mentor, ally, and eventually friend, through all the challenges they had faced. "You should rest," Zixla said, noting Kate's tired eyes. "Tomorrow brings the Cygnus delegation. They will require all your diplomatic skills." Kate nodded. The Cygnus species communicated through gravitational pulses, making them particularly challenging to understand. Yet another puzzle to solve, another bridge to build. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if I hadn't noticed the pattern in your language?" Kate asked. Not for the first time, Zixla made the wind chime sound that Kate now recognized as contemplative amusement. The stars aligned as they were meant to. The universe conspires toward harmony even when it seems most chaotic. You were the right person in the right place. Your mind was open while others were closed. Kate wasn't sure she believed in such cosmic determinism, but she appreciated the sentiment. The friendship between her and Zixla had deepened over the years, transcending their physiological differences. They had each lost family members, celebrated victories, mourned defeats, and through it all maintained the alliance they had helped create. On her 50th birthday, Kate received an unprecedented honor. The Nebulonian Council announced the creation of the Morgan frequency, a specific stellar harmonic that would forever bear her name in their language. It would signify Bridge Builder 1, who connects worlds. It was the first time a human had been immortalized in the cosmic language. That same year, Kate began training her successor, a young woman named Lucia Chen, who showed remarkable sensitivity to stellar frequencies. Kate recognized in her the same curiosity, the same willingness to question assumptions that had led to her own discoveries. "Remember," Kate told her as they watched the triple sunset from the observation deck. "The words are just the surface. The meaning lies in the spaces between, in the harmonics that connect them. Never assume you understand until you've heard all the frequencies." On the 25th anniversary of First Contact, Kate stood beside Ambassador Zixla as they unveiled a monument on the neutral station, a crystalline structure that resonated with stellar frequencies, creating a harmonic accessible to both human and Nebulonian senses, a physical representation of the bridge they had built between worlds. After the ceremony as dignitaries, from dozens of species mingled, Kate found a quiet moment with Zixla. 25 years, the ambassador mused, her skin shifting through nostalgic blues. A mere blink to my people, a significant portion of your human lifespan. Do you regret devoting so much of your life to this work? Kate looked out at the stars visible through the station's viewport. Their light had traveled for years, centuries, millennia, to reach this moment. This gathering of diverse species united in peace. No regrets, she said. I found my purpose. My song in the cosmic harmony. Zixla made a gesture of profound respect, all four arms moving in perfect synchronization. You hear the stars. Kate Morgan. And through you others have learned to listen. The universe is louder and more beautiful because you taught us to share our songs. As Kate approached her 60th year, her health began to fail. Despite Nebulonian medical treatments, the human body had its limitations. She reduced her diplomatic schedule, focusing instead on teaching the next generation of Star Whisperers. Her academy now had branches on 12 worlds, its graduates serving throughout known space. When Kate knew her time was growing short, she made a final request to visit the Star Sanctuary on Nebulon 5. The sacred place where she had first truly heard the stellar songs. Zixla and Mixna accompanied her, the three friends moving slowly through the crystalline streets that had become as familiar to Kate as the farmlands of her childhood. Inside the sanctuary, Kate sat beneath the stars, her hand clutching the heart of Zirian. The crystal pulsed with her heartbeat, connecting her to the cosmic harmony that had defined her life. I have a request, she said to her friends. When I am gone, take my ashes to the heart star of Nebulon 5. Let me become part of the stellar song. Zixla nodded solemnly, her skin dark with emotion. It shall be done. Star Whisperer, your essence will join the cosmic harmony. Your frequency will continue. 3 months later, a Nebulonian ship carried Kate Morgan's ashes to the heart of their solar system. The vessel approached the blue giant star that had given birth to their civilization. In a ceremony attended by representatives from 27 species, the urn was released into the stellar winds. As it disappeared into the brilliance, Ambassador Zixla spoke the ritual words, her voice carrying the perfect harmonic that Kate had taught her to share with humans. She heard the stars, she lived in harmony. She taught us to listen. Though her physical form returns to stardust, her song continues in the cosmic symphony. May all who look to the stars remember Kate Morgan, the Star Whisperer, the human who reminded us that understanding begins with listening. On Earth and Nebulon, 5 observatories were renamed in Kate's honor, scholarships established in her name. The translation matrices she developed continued to evolve, incorporating new discoveries and refinements. But her greatest legacy lived on in the peace between species in the alliance that spanned galaxies. Decades later, when new species were encountered, the first protocol was always the same. Listen before speaking. Understand before being understood. The Star Whisperer Protocol had become the foundation of galactic diplomacy, a testament to one woman's willingness to hear the music in the spaces between words. In time, legend transformed Kate Morgan into something more than human. Stories claimed she could speak directly to stars, that she had discovered the language of the cosmos itself. Such myths obscured the simple truth. A communications officer with a gift for patterns had changed the galaxy, not through extraordinary powers, but through extraordinary listening. The truth was both simpler and more profound. Kate Morgan had reminded both humans and Nebulonians that communication begins not with speaking, but with hearing. Not with demanding understanding, but with offering it. First we must listen. Then, and only then, can we truly speak.